Welcome back, everybody. Hey, we have another person here, Alyssa Montgomery, all the way from San Diego. She's moving in Miami with her beautiful husband, handsome husband, Mr. Carter over there. Hey, the deal is the champions are around every corner, but few and far between. So I'm going to let Alyssa open up her world and showcase the things that she's done and how she's helping people in 2025. Alyssa, hit us with that shit, girl.
Yeah, absolutely. So my little mantra for this year is ascend her. I spent the last few years like re-identifying myself and my brand and my vision, going from a professional IFBB wellness pro and competing super young in bodybuilding, professional bodybuilding, to now transitioning to becoming like a wife, having a business with my husband. We started dating really young at 24 and got married 2 years after that. And we just went full force of building this life together. So it really is just re-identifying who I am and like being comfortable with that after overcoming some adversities too. And having this fitness coaching business that we do together. So basically we're online health and wellness and optimization transformation coaching business. We call it concierge style coaching with like high level, high energy executives.
100%. I know exactly what you do. So what you heard in there is boss bees. That's what I heard. Boss bees. So if you're a boss bee, an entrepreneur, a high level achieved female in the industry, doctors, attorneys, executives, CEOs, all the way up, multimillionaires, but you sacrificed your physical appearance, your mental wellness, You've given everything away to other people to achieve your level of success. Alyssa is the person to help you unlock everything you've been looking forward to unlock, for sure. I've seen some crazy transformations on her page, and that's the difference between cookie cutter programming, V-shred, shit like that, to high level programming that optimizes hormones and physical fitness and nutrition and mental wellness to create a program that helps busy professionals hit that next level. And there are some crazy transformations. Like, these aren't like normal shit. These girls are forces out there.
Yeah, I mean, I love what I do. And a part of why I pivoted my career from hospitality into literally helping people change lives and like see themselves and level up at a very young age. I've been coaching for the last 11 years now, is because there's no better feeling than allowing like a woman to see herself and walk into any room and feel like she can command the energy. She can be that trustworthy person at work, like be that role model, also be the present loving mother, also be that present wife, and just operate in all aspects, because you can have it all.
That's right.
You just have to put in the actions and the intention and the strategy to get there.
Yeah, I want to be very clear, gentlemen and females out there watching. Females have a hard go at being professionals. They really do, because not only do they have to be achieved in a professional environment, when they come home, they got to do that mother shit. You got to take care of the kids, make the meals, clean the house. They have like 2 full-time effort jobs, and then they have to fit in and prioritize themselves at some point too. So I think it's easier being a guy. Obviously, I know that experience. I don't know what it's like to be a female, but on the outside looking in, and have myself worked with plenty of females to help them open up their lives in a positive way, I can see it is that they have 2 full-time efforts in parallel: professionalism and their personal life as being mothers and wives. And it is not easy, and it requires a very large amount of awareness and self-awareness to see where it is that you can improve these areas that need to, because I know it's not easy, and I know without help it's nearly impossible.
I mean, it does take a village to raise kids.
That's right. It isn't easy.
And there has to be an equally present father too.
Yeah.
It is like a very nuclear family situation.
I get it.
But as a woman, we're master multitaskers, right? Like, it is insane how talented women are at multitasking.
I get it.
Men are very linear.
That's it. I'm extremely linear. Give me one task: bash head with hammer. That's it. And I do it well, but don't give me 2. I'm like, I'm confused. Which one's more important? They're like, what? Just go. I'm like, no, I can't. I can't decide. And I can't do multiple things. I really can't. I time box everything and close out everything.
which is its own masterful art too.
Yeah,
And
I
there's
guess.
something that we can learn from each other there. And I feel like that's why the masculine and the feminine
Oh
balance
yeah,
each
100%.
other so well.
Yeah, yeah. You will do everything. You will be the master of everything I'm not. That's for sure. Because like I want to strangle him, and you'd be like, "Oh, it's okay, like Timmy, like it's okay. You just spilled your milk," and I'm like, are we even related? Like, oh, I just want to shake you. Like what?
Like, how'd you know not to? Like,
You're like, you're not supposed to shake him like that. I'm like, I didn't read that in a book. Shut up, kid. Like, no, we're not doing that. We're not shaking kids. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, it's so different.
This is a metaphor.
It's a metaphor. It's hypothetical. Like, look, yin and yang. The male and the female fits together, and we're almost polar opposites. And it's by design. It's by spiritual design, and it's super important is to be expressive on the nature of your gender strengths. And that's it. And we aren't designed to be the same, and that's okay. No one's better. Like, I'm not giving birth to children. Jesus Christ. Could you imagine? Like, it's not even possible. So, like, I'm not doing those things, but I do some of the things that my partner would never be able to do. Like, strangle the bad guys, right? And like it. And she's not doing that. She's like, I'm calling 911. I'll be at the neighbor's house. I'm like, I'm going to have some fun with the invader right now.
I mean, on the topic of gender roles, I feel like we're detransitioning out of this mentality that women can't rely on like the masculine and have like took on this super like masculine role. And I feel like high performing, high level women need to find this balance.
Sure.
And it does come back to like finding safety and connection in their body and like feeling confident
100%.
in that too, because that's its own like empowering journey.
Yeah.
Because women are really emotional about their appearance, their image, and their bodies.
They are. They are.
We go through like a whole monthly cycle to back that up and support it with science.
Exactly. My cycle's like multi-decades, right? Her cycle is like multi-minute. It's like, oh, who are you? I don't even know you, right? And the next thing is she's like super happy. It's like, okay. It's the way women work. I
mean,
understand.
I was talking about periods, but
That's okay. What were we talking about? I lost my schedule. Like, oh, like me and my pad, it never works out. But anyways, just gets tucked to the side. Like, it's okay. It's like, it's an adult diaper. Like, we don't want to talk about that right now. But anyways, so females, like what I understand in females is we have to balance, we say we, but high achieving females have to have somewhat masculine presence when they lead their leaderships of people. It doesn't matter. Like you can't be a passive feminine person typically and being a great leader is because that energy doesn't transfer well to people following you. So I see a lot of issues and challenges for females that fit that role from 9 to 5 and then have to come back into the family and fit back into the feminine and masculine kind of role. And oftentimes what I see, at least in the females that I've known over the years, is there is some significant frictions in that transition between the masculine and feminine in their home space is because they oftentimes aren't dating a very masculine man. Mm-hmm. They're not married to a very masculine man, so they're dominant. So they demasculate the men over the years and they start to actually lose sexual interest in that male. And then there's conflict over time is like, male doesn't have his like clear role. He's basically the chick in the relationship. The chick is basically the dude, and she's in control, making all the decisions, making all the money, and a lot of times starts to lose respect for the guy in time is because he's not fulfilling, he's not living up to her expectations, and a girl's not just going to submit to a weak dude. She's just not.
Yeah,
They're not designed
absolutely.
to.
I mean, women have to feel safe.
Right.
Like there has to be that aspect of them that allows them to come in and want to nurture and connect and be like, hey baby, like you had a long day, like what's
Right.
stressing you out, and relaxing it, not him being like that the whole entire time.
Right, being a fucking ass.
In order for a woman to like be turned on sexually, she has to feel safe.
Of course.
And nurtured.
Oh my God. Could you imagine being scared of your partner? Like legitimately, like scared, like you're like coming out the shower, like.
Well, safety is more of like an emotional connection.
Safety. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean the basics of like, is an intruder gonna come to my door? Like,
Sure.
you know, I'm sending you out, homie. Like,
Exactly. It's time to get to work, bro. You should have done more jujitsu, punk.
But the safety for a woman is more like, does she feel like emotionally safe?
Uh-huh.
That's how you allow a woman to open up.
Oh, this is
sexually.
a great motherfucking podcast for me. All right, let's go. Give me that shit, girl, because that's not my strength. I mean, I'm a great listener and I have a lot of patience, but I am massively stoic. Like nothing affects me. almost nothing. Like I could watch my mom die and I'll still pick up a sales call like 3 minutes later, like almost unaffected. Like I'll deal with that shit later. Like we had closed the sales thing, and that's like how I am, and that's not normal. And I've worked real hard over the years to use these big ass fucking ears I have to be a really good listener to my partner and exercise patience, because I don't view the world remotely how my partner typically does at all. So that's a thing that I've had to work on. I can understand. I really relate to that, being emotionally safe, is because oftentimes that harsh male masculine presence isn't very emotionally safe. They're like, oh, just put some sand on it. It's okay, girl. Like, let's get to work. You're like, my world's falling apart, and you just want to be heard.
Exactly. Emotional safety comes from a woman feeling seen. And when she tells you what's maybe stressing her out or what she may be dealing with, she just wants you to like shut up and listen. She doesn't necessarily want your advice. She's like, can you just hear me?
Yeah.
And then your job isn't just to listen, but to like hear her.
Oh, well, I fail like that. I was like, you got fucking girlfriends for that. Like, call them hoes. Like, don't call me with that shit. Like, I'm like, okay, it's like, you want a bubble bath? Like, what do you want to do? Like, how do I make this any better? And like, just being present is the thing that makes it better.
Literally.
And it's 25 years of being in the dating scene. Like, I understand. Like, you got to be a good listener. That's a thing. And men, if you aren't listening, you're failing. That's for sure. I know that much. And I failed probably more than all you combined. So learn to listen and take a breath and pay attention to what's happening to your partner, because even if it's perceptionally false, what they've worked themselves up over, it feels real to them in the moment, just like a scary movie. Like, I've watched scary movies where I know I saw motherfucking Pennywise in the corner. Like, I know I saw him and I was terrified. As an adult, I'm not too proud to say I was terrified of clowns for a large portion of my adult life, but they weren't real, and I made it real. And if it's real to your partner, then it's functionally real in the moment. Like, and you need to treat it as such.
I think it's also like the woman's job to understand how she needs to be seen and being able to communicate that. It's like a teamwork thing. I can't expect you, my husband, to just get me right off the jump. Like, you also have to take the time to like process what you're experiencing and then deliver that information in a way that's digestible to you with your man brain.
So fucking, it's about this big, ladies. It's the size of a walnut. It's tiny, like a T-Rex.
And it goes back to like the very linear thing.
That's right. That's why it can only process one thing at a time. It's a teeny gorilla brain.
But for a woman to also see herself, it does come back to creating that identity for yourself, where you are able to like feel safe in your body too. It's like your confidence and like your fitness. And I think the body is foundational to everything else, because how you show up for yourself every single day builds a level of integrity. And it's the self-discipline, but the confidence is in the actions. Like what you tell yourself. I'm like, okay, let's go into this hippy dippy world that we're living in now. Give me the hippy dippy, girl. Break them off. I'm all like about manifesting, affirmation, like having goals and like visualizing, right? But a manifestation is irrelevant if you're not aligning your energy, which is your actions, not just your thoughts. Like, sure, like the thought first produces like this thing, this download that you got, right? We get a download, we get a thought, then we start producing feelings around that thought as we start to idealize and want to create that in our reality. But what is reality if it's just something that's stuck in your head? You have to like put your action and energy into aligning with that in order to get that result, right? Right. So in terms of fitness, every year, everyone, this is going to be my year. I'm going to work on my fitness. We're in February, right? So everybody's like bleeding into maybe having starting in January, or they're still thinking about it. Right. But if you're not aligning your actions, which is your integrity, then you're always just gonna be that person that's consistently like starting over on themselves. That's right. No. Now, so what Alyssa said here, which was the gem, was manifestation and ideation is an important part of the process. It's actually required for any level of accomplishment. But number two, which is most people fail miserably at, is committing to the action part, the doing of the thing to achieve the desired result.
That's where most people fail in almost all aspects of life. I want to treat my partner better. I want to go to church more. I want to stop drinking, doing drugs. I want to eat better. I want to be fit. I want to look powerful in a room. They fail is on the action part. It isn't the dream. It isn't the idea that they failed. That was beautifully executed. The lack of action is the top issue with almost all of achievement socially, or lack thereof. We don't have an information challenge. We have an execution actionable challenge, right? It's hard to command the respect of a room. That isn't easy for a male or a female. It requires very committed energy and resources and a team to help achieve any level of command presence. It does not just get given away. It isn't. The president of the United States walks in a room because they fucking earned it. And the room waits until they get into the room and then sits down later. Like, that's command presence. And they didn't get there by accident. Like, it took their entire life to get there. And building your command presence might be an equal level of challenge.
I mean, you have to be someone that you would love to meet.
Right.
And people aren't going to look at you or want your attention if you're not a high value person.
Sure.
So you have to like ask yourself and be honest, what kind of value am I bringing to the world?
100%. So I love that you said that. Now I'm setting you up here, so don't hate me. Hate me later. You'll love me later. You'll hate me now. What's a high value woman to you look like?
To me, a high value woman is someone who has taken life and experiences and challenges and then created something out of it. I feel like we live in a society that we either like sit in like this victimhood of like soup, like just marinate in your trauma or your life.
100%.
Or you could take that, change the narrative, recreate it, and then inspire people by telling people how you like overcame that and created this dope ass life for yourself.
Dope. So,
So she doesn't have to like make tons of money to be a high value person. It's just how you choose to basically take control of your reality.
Okay. I like that. And understand is that value isn't just finance. Finance is linked to a number. And oftentimes we think value is about how much money you make. That is one pillar of all total success. So it's spirituality, how you treat people, like ethics, wellness, fitness, nutrition, health. There's lots of measurable things that result in what success and high value could be. Like, I would never date a sex worker. Like, I don't value that. It's gross to me. And if you were a dude that was with hundreds of women, it'd be gross to me too. You wouldn't be my friend, is because I don't think that's part of my success measure, right? So respecting your body with the amount of partners you would have publicly or even privately is part of how I measure someone's success. I don't really associate with non-successful people. It doesn't excite me. One is, I don't want all your problems with all those ex-partners you had rolling up, like when I'm sitting in Pura Vida. Like, that's gross, right? So like, I respect people off of the difficult things that they do that might not be acceptable in society, like being super fit, sacrificing and having a proper family, and being married for 20, 30, 40 years with a bunch of kids, and going to church. Like, I like those things is because those are things that are historically defined as difficult, and society, I think, has forgotten a lot of those things that we've measured as part of the success. They just focus on the money. And yeah, great, bro. Great homegirl. You nailed money. You're a millionaire, but you couldn't squeeze into bikini if you bought 3 of them, right? You might need to sacrifice the sheets for some extra material to fit into.
I mean, think of like a heart surgeon, right? You're going in to meet your doctor, and heart surgeons make pretty good money.
A little bit. They
right?
make okay. They're not bad.
Okay.
Not bad, about 400-ish, right?
So obviously they have achieved a level of financial success.
Right.
They have a level of intellectual success because they're able to effectively operate on your heart and make sure that you wake up out of surgery better, brand new, alive. Hopefully that's like number one.
Hopefully, am I going to make it through this?
But if they're like 250 pounds and overweight, and then they're
facts.
like, are you gonna trust that person?
I'm like,
Or
man.
do you think they're?
I was like, you should be on this desk over me, bro. Like, are you gonna like,
I'm like,
flex
are you
out?
next?
Are you gonna flex out like when the chest cavity's cracked open, right? Do you have enough stamina to survive surgery with me? I'm a big boy.
Having a conversation with a woman I met in the sauna actually a couple weeks ago.
This is every great story starts here, right? Was tequila involved? Come on, girl, give it to us. Like this is great.
And I was explaining just the type of clients that we work with, like very like high level individuals, and just how it's really important for just people in general to start thinking about other people when it comes to your health, because you not being healthy or taking care of yourself is so selfish. It's not just about like having confidence in looking a certain way. It's, are you going to be able to like take care of your family for the rest of your life?
Right.
So then she thought about her father, who ended up dying in his 60s of a heart attack because he was extremely overweight. He's a pilot.
Sure.
He was a pilot. She's like, oh my God, my dad's a pilot. I wouldn't like want that to be my pilot if I have like a high net worth individual like on the plane.
On a private plane, yeah.
Yeah. So it's very selfish.
Yeah, massively selfish. And I think in that female aspect of it, you raise children, and behavior and exposure is the primary mechanism for learning for children. So if you're, we'll just say, massively unhealthy, 200, 300 pounds, you're passing that on to your children. Now those children have to go through school, get bullied. They have weight and self-confidence issues. They most likely have physical health impacts, type 2 diabetes, etc., at a very young age. Insulin sensitivity, ADHD, a lot of that is food-derived challenges with kids and lack of movement and exercise. And you're passing that on to your children. That is massively selfish. I'll show you a picture of my son. He's a fucking stud, ripped out 15-year-old. Abbed out kid. Why do you think that is? Right? It's because his dad's a stud and he knows macros. I taught him that shit. And that dude does wrestling. He does lacrosse. And the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So I have to provide an example for him. Like if he's not educated and he doesn't have a way out with my behavior, then he knows like this is the way a person, adult, is supposed to be, supposed to grow up to be.
Yeah. In America, obesity is a generational trauma cycle.
Yeah, 100%.
So
behavioral.
Yeah. You have to be the one to break it. Mm-hmm. Someone has to break it eventually. And that's why it's just like years and years of indoctrinated obesity.
Excuse me, 100%. And I agree with that shit is massively, it's behavioral. When you look at the parents, they're like, I'm thick boned. No, motherfucker, you aren't thick boned like Samoan, looking like The Rock and shit. The Rock's thick motherfucking bone. He's 6'6". Like, you are fat, kiddo. And it's because your parents are fat. It's not genes, it's behavioral. Mm-hmm. What do they eat? Oh, they're deep throating Diet Cokes and fucking donuts all day long. Little powdered donuts and shit, eating candies and stuff. It's like they're behavioral challenges. You don't have bad genes. You wouldn't be here most likely if you had poor genes. Your ancestors were amazing and survived masters. They evolved quickly. They didn't have bad genes. You have amazing genes. You just have poor behavior is resulting in all this. I don't know what the fuck you call that. Like hippo syndrome. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, as like a high level woman, you're the example. Like
tell us.
You're the role model. Everyone is looking at you. Your employees are looking at you. If you make, let's say, the most money in your family, all your family members are looking at you. Like you are their idealized version of success, because it's also a level of familiarity. When you're around a successful person, like that's who you look up to. Like, sure. I want to be more like them. So when it comes to like your image and your health and your fitness, like all these people are looking at you as a role model. Let's talk about like on the contrary. Let's say you're a like piece of shit, like lazy person that doesn't really contribute much to society. You're also being an example. You're being an example of what people don't want to be like. Right. So like, do you want to be this example of success and health and wealth and happiness and just overall like prosperity of life? Or do you want to be that example where it's like, I do not want to be like that person?
Society,
people are watching you.
No, 100%. And society failed massively on normalizing and idolizing average behavior. Subpar performance, subpar health, when we started putting obese models as Victoria's Secret models to sell more shit, we were sending the wrong message.
And now we're backtracking.
We're backtracking because it doesn't work.
No.
I'm sorry. I hate to tell you the truth, but if you're obese and morbidly obese, you're living an unhealthy life, and you're going to have massive challenges later in life. When they crack open your chest, you're going to regret that you didn't eat better. When you have type 2 diabetes and you start to lose limbs, and you have an early life, a measurably earlier death in your life, and you're challenged to run around and chase your grandchildren, you will regret some of the mistakes you made. And it's too fucking late. Like, make them early. Eating healthy is not about chicken and rice. Veggies are almost endless sources of low calories. You can eat all kinds of shit. It's everything in a box that's damaging us, that convenience. Like, there's a way to do it. And you guys need to start understanding long-term health is made today. I feel amazing at 45 is because I made different choices 2 decades ago. Like, I've ran 3 to 5 times a week for decades. And I've prioritized nutrition and fitness to live a certain life because I don't want to be a 50, 60, 70-year-old person that starts to have significant health challenges. I have no health problems. My heart rate has not changed 1 beat in 2 decades. I have a 70 beat per minute heart rate for 2 decades. Same blood pressure. My body weight's within 10 pounds since I was 19. That's it, up or down. It's right in the zone. Same every day. And it's because I look at the scale. I'm like, oh boy, 1 too many scoops of ice cream. Like, we need to adjust. Like, I don't drink, I don't do drugs. And that's a behavioral trait because both my parents had early deaths related to alcoholism and being overweight. They weren't massively overweight, but they were definitely 30 pounds or more overweight, and combined with alcohol, both parents. I don't have both parents, and they've been gone for a long time. So if you want to prevent that, make changes today. It's not that difficult. Like, I love everything healthy. It's not, I don't suffer in any way from eating anything. I just don't eat pizza and I don't eat McDonald's every day. It's like once a month, maybe I'll have pizza or chicken wings or something crazy. Like, I eat normal. Like, if it's on the outside of the aisle, I eat it. If it's on the inside, I don't.
I feel like there's also this swing in wellness where people are just profiting off, don't do seed oils, don't do this, and just like traumatizing people around food, where it's like, if it has more than 3 ingredients, it shouldn't be in your body. So now people are confused because like they're like, do I have to eat like kale and like raise my own chickens and have my own eggs and like slaughter them and pluck them?
Like, you can't do
like,
anything.
You're just trying to like do so many extremes in terms of like the spectrum of quote unquote healthy foods. That it's like, we all like eating tasty foods. Like, we all like going out to a nice meal. Sometimes we like eating some chips.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really creating this harmony between like, I can have the body that I want. I can still have these things without feeling restrictive, but there's also a level of health that I can maintain for myself too, as like a standard. And it's really creating like a new standard for yourself and then integrating that into your lifestyle. Like, hey, like, these are my non-negotiables. Like, going out on date nights is really important. Family vacations. Yeah. Eating my ice cream.
That's it. I don't want to do it if there's no ice cream. Like, I could live without date night, but you remove ice cream from my life, I will not have a reason to live. I will be so depressed, sad, and angry. Just go give me ice cream. Shut up. That's it. Make Clinton happy. Make the mean man happy. Give him some Ben and Jerry's. Stop it. So you talked about a couple things here that I'm very interested in. What is your ideal person that works with you? Like, you mentioned high level. Like, to me, that's philosophical. That could be anything, right? So kind of walk me in what these ideal females that really benefit most from what it is that you offer.
I love a woman that is almost addicted to this like self-development. Like, she knows that everything in her life is going to 10x and get that much better, whether that's more connection in her relationship, being more present as a mom, killing it in her business. Sure. And being able to attract like her ideal client, or
100%.
Being able to just secure more culture in her team and like building just like a kick-ass group of people that want to like work with her because they believe in her mission, and really just going on this journey of inner self. And when it comes to like the body perspective, is being able to like take ownership of that and knowing that she's showing up for herself first every day, because a lot of women can put everything to the wayside and it's really easy for them to just continue to like sacrifice, because I feel like a lot of women go into survival mode.
No, they do. They're massively selfless, and they do think they live for a lot of other people. A mother lives for her children, whether she admits it or not. And sometimes she's living for her husband. She loses her identity and her health. And it's like that old metaphor that they use in coaching all the time. If the airplane's going down, you don't put the gas mask on the child first or your husband. You put it on yourself. You take care of yourself and preserve this vessel so that you could operate at a higher level to take care of those people. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't possibly take care of others. So you have to learn how to prioritize self and be a little selfish and redirect that energy back in self so you can give more to the people you love and care about, and including your professional environment and team. If you sacrifice self, you will eventually have nothing left to give. And then that's where the real problems really start.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like people also really overcomplicate fitness.
Sure.
When it comes to like getting results, or think they have to do some extreme diets. I mean, especially women. Women have tried everything. I'm a Pilates princess. I do keto. I don't eat red meat. Like,
I don't eat seed oils. Fuck.
It's like you did that for maybe 12 weeks, and then you lost weight, and then you gained it back again, because that's not sustainable. Like,
You didn't change the life.
Like, when you don't believe in carbs, like, that's bullshit.
Yeah, carbs are a tool, guys. Fats are a tool, and proteins are a tool. Learn how to use them for your body type. Everybody's different. And unfortunately, with the fad diets and the fad exercise routines, it's not sustainable. You have to figure out a system that will work for your life and for your body type. You should not be changing your routine every few months. That's silly. And if anything, you should be adjusting your nutrition slightly every so often, weeks, maybe even months, to get better results. It's not the workout. And the workout can be boring and monotonous, but that's where the power comes in. You need to reduce variables so that you can understand what knob to turn to get the results you want. She's a professional, stood on stages. I can tell you right now, it probably wasn't related mostly to the workout. That's where she showcases what she did in the kitchen and in the supplementation and in the routine for years. And that's where she got to show it off. It's really made in the kitchen, not on behind the weights and bouncing around in Pilates or CrossFit or some new cool high rep routine. It's none of those things. It's typically nutrition based, and nutrition is the hardest part for almost everybody, because it takes time and the results might not be noticed immediately. You know, you have those newbie gains. You're like, oh, I got my pump on, my shoulders, my delts are popping, my traps are inching up. Like, I'm feeling like I'm doing something. But with nutrition, it might be 6 weeks in and you might not notice it, but you'll see a photo. You're like, holy shit, I'm a different person. The people around you will notice, but like visually, you don't notice the nutrition aspect, and the suffering nutritionally can be kind of hard, and it depends on lifestyle. Like, if you're having 3 glasses of wine a night, maybe that should go. And
we should probably assess a deeper issue there.
Exactly, right? Why are we using alcohol substance as a stress relief?
Let's work on the way you deal with stress.
Maybe do a few push-ups, couple crunches.
I feel like stress eating is
It's
up
a thing.
there as a part of like how people think, oh, I can't lose weight because I stress eat. It's like, let's just take a look at the way you deal with stress, because the food's not the problem. It's how you deal with your stress.
You want to hear a secret?
Let's hear it.
Shh, no one knows this about me. I'm going to reveal something crazy here. I don't do stress eating. I do something that's way worse. I do success eating. So when I have a successful moment, I reward myself with my pleasures. I remove those pleasures if I'm not doing the things I'm supposed to do. And it's weird, but that's what I do.
What if you're just winning all the time then? Does like the dopamine run out?
Hey, look, that's why that midsection's big, because I've been winning too much. No, that's what I do. And it's crazy.
How do you know if Clinton's fat and happy? Well, he's fat and happy.
He's fucking winning. That's right. That's what I do. And I've done that for years. So I don't celebrate. I don't eat under stress. I do the exact opposite. I eat under success. I reward there. And I don't reward negative behavior in my life typically. In any type of form, I reward the good behavior and the success and the grind. So even if my child gave 100% on the field, but didn't win the day, I'll still reward them for the amount of effort that they put in, even under a failure. And they need to understand that loop of self-rewarding for the hard work, not for things not just going their way, kind of thing. That's a pretty nasty negative loop you can fall into. And alcohol is a primary indicator of that type of behavior. I had stress, so I deserve to have a few drinks, right? I had a tough day at work. The kids weren't behaving well, so I'm going to have a few glasses of wine to unwind because I deserve it.
Yeah.
That's
getting
massively
results
destructive.
of anything in life is all mindset.
Sure.
It's all mindset related. And if you actually like take the time to like sit with yourself and give moments of introspection.
Yeah.
And just listen. What's going on in there? And then you can start picking apart your thought process.
100%.
It's really easy to understand why you are the way.
100%. And a lot of people, I think, don't understand that. So if you were going to build something and you wanted that something to get better over time, you have an idea, you apply that idea, and then you measure the results. A lot of times as people, we forget to measure our results. That's that introspective moment where you're evaluating truthfully what you're succeeding and failing at. I have a list, 3 to 5 things each side, and I say, what part of these things can I make changes for and commit to for the next iteration of evaluations, for the next, say, 30-day measurement of my self-performance. And then I apply, go through, and then I measure again. Oh shit, I only missed 3 days in my trainerized. That's kind of, I only missed 3 meals out of, the whole month in my trainerized. That's kind of a win because I reported accurately a high percentage of what I was supposed to be doing. Now I can have a good tool to adjust. Where does my fitness need to go month after that, right? Is it lack of movement, or do we need to take down the carbs a little bit, take down the fats, or what do we need to do? And since it's baselined, it makes it easy to do it. But a lot of people are delusional about how well they're actually doing, and they don't have enough belief in self to be honest to present their successes and flaws on paper. And that's a super powerful skill to develop as a person, is to look inside and be honest with the person in the mirror on where you're failing most often. No one really cares about this, where you're succeeding. It's like, what areas need improvement, And for me, personally, I know it's the connection component, prioritizing date night. You talk about that a lot. That's important. I don't do those things because I get so busy at work.
Do you want to get laid?
I got to be honest. I've never had that issue, my girl. So I hate to brag about self, but I have never had a challenge with females. No, I just had to put the liner in there. No, it's great. I do those things anyways. Like I got 99 problems. That ain't one of them, mama. And that's the truth. And I maybe wish I had a greater challenge in that area, but I spent a lot of time in my life developing a man that a woman would want to have intimacy with and want to call her dude and be proud of.
Yeah, she's proud of you.
No, she 100% is.
You provide, you protect.
I'm a badass dude, and I do what I can, and I know that there's more. And I use the same process she teaches her clients. Is I internally reflect on my performance as a person and decide what it is I can do. And I do that over and over again. If you have a month where there's nothing that you think you could improve, you're delusional. And you
should
need
always
to dig
be
deeper.
moving the marker.
You should.
It's always about getting better.
You should. The Bible says that.
Become numb to the level of success you created when you don't feel like you have goals to push for.
Sure.
And that's just you getting comfortable. So
yeah.
The goal is to never be comfortable. That's how you keep winning.
That's a lifelong endeavor of self-improvement. And if you're never satisfied with your level of achievement in anything, and you get bored on where you're at regularly, that's a good thing, because you need to pick up stuff. You ever been around a person that did everything and they did everything well? Like, you know how much work they had to put in to master those skills? The dude that just picks up the guitar, or the girl that picks up the piano, like, oh yeah, there's a piano over here, and they flip it open at like lunch and they just start banging out some Bach and shit. You're like, where'd you learn that? Like, oh, I got bored over the years and I just learned piano. And I was like, okay, Stevie Wonder, shit, stand down. Like, all right, that's impressive. And, that's really just continuing to work on self. Personal development is a buzzword, but it's an old school skill that people had forever. Like, you ever heard of reading a book? That's personal development. And if you haven't read a book to make yourself better, more knowledgeable, there's probably a problem. Like,
I was
it's
reading
regular.
Think and Grow Rich again last year, and in the book, he talks about how in order to level up, you need to like create a mastermind. And now we're in this world where it's like mastermind this,
Masterminds are
mastermind that,
popular, yeah.
right? And it's like, well, this book that's like fairly old literally talked about getting together with a group of intellectuals that all have different skill sets. You can bounce ideas off each other so you can start elevating yourself. And it's like all these concepts of manifestation and winning and
Old.
action. This is nothing new.
Nothing
we're,
new.
We're not reinventing the wheel here.
We rebrand
Yeah.
old concepts and use them as new. They're nothing new. We've talked about that for a long time. Keto diet, paleo diet. These are just terms for shit people have done for decades. They just put a name to it and market it. The same thing with knowledge.
Biohacking.
Yeah, mindset. Are you kidding? You ever heard of the Old Testament, Epictetus, Stoicism? Thousands of years old. It's been around forever. And here we are.
They were masterminding
They
hard,
were
guys.
doing it right. They're like, yeah, self-mastery, go without, struggle, fast, do hard shit, walk long periods of time in the desert with no fucking water. Like, what?
Barefoot.
Barefoot with something on your back. Like, they were doing difficult stuff thousands of years ago, and they understood the benefit to the human mind and body and spirit by going through difficult things on a regular.
And that's why that fitness journey really just translate to that. It's like our bodies, like us as humans, we were built to literally challenge ourselves every day. And what you want to sit on this earth and on your deathbed and tell yourself, I didn't take the time to invest in myself and reach my human potential.
Unlimited human potential is in every ancient documentation that exists. You don't even know your upper limit because you've never even pressed the limits. You aren't even close. A person like David Goggins can run a 100-mile marathon in the desert with no practice, break every bone in his foot and still keep going. But you can't get up and go to the gym for 30-minute walk on the treadmill, and you understand is that you're actually the same. You could do what David does, but you won't even do what you could do. Like, it's crazy is that you're so comfortable out there. We get so comfortable is that we won't even press the limit of any level of discomfort, spiritually, physically, mentally. Like, and that's crazy. It's so rewarding when you just try a little. That's it. It's not even that difficult.
It goes back to just having those moments of introspection and being honest with yourself.
Right.
Like how are you numbing your mind? Because we all spend time in our heads all day long, but you can numb your mind with a bunch of like stupid shit, even from
100%.
scrolling on Instagram. I feel like if you just take a look at what people look at on social media on a daily basis is like a direct reflection of like where their mind and their thoughts are. And it goes back to the vision board too. You can scroll and look at a bunch of like Fitspo all day and like dream vacations and nice clothes and cars, but that's just going to be like a limitless vision board where you're not putting in the energy and the action. So you're just going to live through this like reality that's augmented on your phone that's not actually your life because you're looking at what everyone else is doing instead of doing it yourself.
Right. No, 100%. It's massively detrimental to idolize and obsess over life you aren't putting any effort in to live. That's crazy, and that's a normal thing in life. I literally work backwards. I want to achieve this. I write out, what would a person that wanted to do these things start doing? That's it. Oh, I get up at 7, maybe I should get up at 5. 2 more hours of productivity every day. Yeah, I get a little less sleep, but I'll be okay. And what else do they do? Boom, 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 boom. You could literally type that into Chat GPT. What would a millionaire do to do this? And give me a list that I should execute to make myself better. And it'll find 10 things that you aren't doing. And one of them is going to be knowledge. One of them is going to be nutrition and fitness. One of them is going to get better fucking friends, right? Maybe read a little, like try a mastermind. Like, there's going to be a lot of things it's going to tell you to do, and it all is in that action component. Thinking about what you could be living is kind of pointless when you put in no effort towards getting there.
Goes back to the manifestation.
Right.
Carter and I, we do a lot of mindset work with our clients too because, again, we provide an amazing customized strategy
100%.
for you, but it's all about your mindset going into it and how you do it. And a lot of it is like you have to, exactly the process that you do for yourself is what we've applied for ourselves, and how we've been able to accomplish what we have so far and continue to is because we do list out the attributes and actions of the person that we want to become.
Sure.
And we start operating at that standard now, because you're never going to get there if you don't start acting like who that person is today.
That's right. It's fake. It's a fake it till you make it system till you have all the skills of the person you desire to be. Your dream version, list it. What do they do? Start doing them until that's just your normal reality.
Well, faking it till you make it, you're not actually being faked, because you're literally creating like a new neurological pathways in your brain to start actually believing that and doing that. That's how we're able to overcome severe trauma. You start creating neurological pathways in your brain, and that's why we have the ability to heal ourselves on so many different levels.
Yeah, well, she has a brain. Remember, mine was this size. We talked about it. So I don't think I have many neural pathways left. They're all cooked from some of the stuff I've done. You think, people talk about like, oh, the dyes in your arms and your tattoos are unhealthy. I was like, you have no idea what health is, because, boy, there is so many forever chemicals flowing through my shit. Why do you think I have blue eyes? It's the forever chemicals, people. Come on.
There's like this clip, you know who like Ty Lopez is?
I do, yeah, Ty Lopez.
Obviously, he just creates a bunch of content to stay relevant always, right? To build his business and brand.
Maybe a little bit more than that, but you're not far
No,
off.
I just meant he's always making content,
Yeah,
right?
he is. Yeah,
so he made one little video or clip that I was like, if you see a person that's heavily tattooed, that's just a direct reflection of all the depression and trauma that they have.
100% Ty. And you know what? When I walk into a room, your chick is checking me out. I promise you. I'll rip off my shirt. She's like, who is that motherfucking stud? I want his trauma all over me. Call me, Ty. You got issues, bro.
You have more tattoos and more trauma. It's getting your panties wet.
You got.
Have you seen my husband? No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. I don't even wear panties. My husband's so hot. Jesus. Like panties, what? They fell off a long time ago. Whoops. He's a bad stud. Shit, I don't know about you, Ty. 12-inch arms. Smack you with that shit, bro. Shut up, bitch.
Did that strike a chord?
Exactly. I'll choke you out with your own fucking arm, boy.
Is he, you know, if you walk into a room, is he the one that's going to jump in and protect you?
They wouldn't even know who the fuck that guy is when I'm standing next to him. Like, who are you, bro? Jesus Christ.
His assistant? Your assistant?
I was like, this is my bitch. I was like, he holds my pocket when I walk around.
He holds my purse.
I'll bang him, make him say he's gay. That's how we do it around here, Ty. It's called clickbait, fool. You understand how the internet works. We're gonna cut all this out, bro. This isn't for your audience. I've gone off on a tangent.
This is for your audience.
I've gone off on a tangent. I've been a bad boy. I'm sorry, Alyssa. I apologize. Now, let's get back on topic. I love Ty. He's amazing, but we have different visions of the world.
I'm still beat Ty's ass.
Bro, I will put you in a headlock and you will wish I wasn't behind you, and I'll be smiling the whole time. Manifestation, ideation is an important part of transitioning into action. Now, for your clients, what is the primary area these women struggle in? Because I know it sounds easy on the outside because you're a professional and a champion, but where are they struggling in this process as a group?
I think women overthink everything. Yeah. And then since we're in this information world, they try to take all these things and like assign themselves with health issues that actually don't exist, because they think, oh, I've had 2 kids. I'm over the age of 35, like 40. I'm like, 35 is so young. Like, why are you aging yourself? And they think like their body is just like shutting down.
Yeah.
I can't lose fat
like
anymore.
Cortisol's high.
Yeah. Like, okay, no, you actually just move less. And your eating habits suck, for starters.
Lower muscle mass.
Like, let's actually assess the whole like lifestyle habits.
Uh-huh.
And then you're not actually sticking to something for longer than like a couple weeks.
Sure.
Because either you don't like what you're doing or you don't actually have like a plan or strategy. And then it's just like this whole whirlwind of thing where they're like creating all these excuses for themselves because they've just been overthinking everything.
Awesome. That's the reason why I don't coach women. I just got to say that. At least the girls that I coach or help or mentor or do business with are typically pretty badasses. And they're fairly masculine on the scale. Like, I am not a prissy kind of energy, if you
I
will.
mean, I feel like that kind of woman would be attracted to you because of who you are.
They
your
really
energy.
are, but I
Yeah.
can't deal with them because I don't.
Oh no, I meant the badass women.
They are. Yeah, they
Yeah.
are. And the prissy ones too. It's a curse. It's not a gift, guys. Sorry. But so that makes perfect sense. And when it comes to that type of personality, where is it that you got to like smack them around? Like, how is it that you get them in line? Because I understand how girls, they have they're in their head a lot. And a lot of times the challenges that they're facing have nothing to do with this real world. They're essentially manifested challenges that aren't real. They're not really quantifiable. Like, how are you getting your girls in line to where they execute? Because the biggest part of this thing is execution. So are you like that hard coach? Like, are you stupid? Like, get to work. Like, I said, hit your macros. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're eating cake and having wine. Like, how are you managing the girls?
So I think women in general, like in terms of like when you look at just like a masculine and feminine relationship, okay, I'm just going to break this down just to something super basic
small
at
for
first.
me.
And then I'm going to reel it back in. Women are meant to be led to some capacity where they have to like surrender and just listen. And honestly, most people do really great with just being told what to do. Mm-hmm. And you got to like drop the ego, drop the chaos, the mental chaos, surrender, and then allow me to come in and streamline everything for you, because I'm going to make it so easy and digestible for you that you're just going to be able to integrate and execute that. It takes all that guesswork out. And then I show you how easy it is that you can sustain it and do it.
That's perfect.
So it's really just creating an efficient strategy that allows it to just work seamlessly with your life. And you literally have no excuses after that.
So do you have a high affinity for having to feel good to execute? Or are you just like have that champion mindset, my arm's hanging off, like we got to get this done, we're getting it done? Like how is that kind of in your vision, like as far as personality wise? Because this is going to lead into another topic.
As far as like women who are like overcoming challenges?
Sure, in general, just in general.
I mean, I coach with empathy, of course.
Okay.
There's a level of like, that's a life difficulty. You were in the hospital.
Right.
Right?
Okay, yeah. I can see that point, maybe.
But I don't know. We had a client that literally had like open heart surgery and she like brought her meal prep.
No, good for her. That's a bad.
So it's
that's
like
impressive.
mindset.
That's the shit that excites me.
Yeah.
That's actually a turn on when I see people do that. I was like, wow, that's commitment. That's impressive to the capital motherfucking impressive. That's crazy, and that's a whole new level. Actually, that's what it takes. Really, that's what it takes. You apply that level of psycho in all your business. Why aren't you doing it in your health and fitness? And once you link those two behaviors together and the upside to applying that internally, it's crazy how freeing that is for people.
Well, to bring that back, building a business is a lot like building your body. Like building your body is a lot like building your business, where you have to put in all the actions and all the energy and effort in all day long.
Sure.
Without seeing results right away.
Yeah, 100%.
But you do it anyways because you want to be successful. And it's the same thing with the business. Like, how long do you start working on your business before you actually start making money?
Sure. Well, mine was day one. but
Instantly profitable.
it actually was, but there were
For
times
most
where
businesses.
there was time it wasn't profitable and it was hard. And being an entrepreneur or a business owner, a lot of times has a reverse bell. So we think put in some, get a little result, put in some, get a little result. When you're starting a business, it's startup math and it's reverse. It's put in a ton, very little results over time. And eventually there's an inflection. You stop putting in a lot of effort and profits start shooting up. So they kind of cross. It's a very different way of looking at the world. So you might have to invest several years to break through the bottom threshold of your genre or industry and start getting traction. And there are clear indications where you're putting in way less and getting way more out of it. And it's the nature of how those businesses are. My business is the same way. Like we've put in 10,000 hours in under 2 years. Like skill development, everything in this business type. Now I'm at mastery level. So now I'm actually starting to do the opposite. I'm starting to put in less and return more. So profit margins are starting to stretch is because I'm I'm skill-wise at a very high level with the business. And it was because 18-hour days, 7 days a week for a year and a half, almost 2 years. So now we have massive upfront work. And now we're starting to do the opposite, slow down that period, collapse the workday, and the profit margins start to stretch is because of all that upfront work. And it's a lot like the body. You'll not notice any change for weeks, months, and sometimes years until you hit the inflection where you fully understand what you're capable of, the nutrition, your body, your recovery, your sleep, your supplements, your hormones. All that could take a while to master on the outside
As
without
a
an expert.
lifestyle,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then once you get it, you can turn any dial and get the result you're looking for. Oh, I need to drop 30 pounds to do X, Y, Z. I need to put on 20 pounds of muscle. I need to do X, Y, Z. And that's skill. That's not a fad diet. That's not accidental. It's not a trend. It's not a fucking ChatGPT fucking search query. It's
It's what you could do for the rest of your life. And it does get to the point too, after you put in like the level of like discipline and time, that it just becomes like an integration.
It's nature.
Yeah, it's
who you are.
it's non-negotiable for you. This is just who you are. This is your identity. But if people actually like focus 12 months straight on digesting everything that they need to know,
Sure. They'd be unrecognizable.
yeah, absolutely.
Your personal growth would be so dramatic, your own mother wouldn't recognize who you were. I know that from experience. When I went into the Marines, I went in at 155. I came out at 205 after 10 months of lifting weights for 2 hours a day, eating 6 meals a day, and supplementing right. And my mom's face turned white and tears just flowed. She couldn't recognize who I was. I was like a stud dude, man. I left as a child, a little tiny little child, and I came back as like a bona fide killer. And she didn't recognize the dude that when the door opened, she was shocked. And like when I came out of the shower, I was towelless or whatever. My mom went like, Jesus Christ, from across the room. She saw me. She's like, I'm not sure you should be walking around like that. Like, it was just a different person. And that's commitment to the process. And it's no different between an education, commitment, relationship, spirituality, or physical fitness. If you put that much effort into it, people are not going to recognize the human before them if they haven't seen you for a while, because the change is so dramatic. It's profound.
Absolutely. My favorite thing is in the world, and this is how I feel like I've won, is when a client comes to me and said, you know, you guys changed my life.
That's the best feeling ever. It's the best feeling ever is when your clients have something great to say about the product or service that you offer, and the legitimacy of about how hard you were on pressing them to unlock their unknown potential.
Yeah, I get
That
really
is
deep
massive.
with my clients. I'm like, who do you want to be? Like, who are you? Like, this is more than just
It's
having
not
like a nice
chicken and
butt and
rice.
legs and like abs, you know.
She said butt.
Booty.
Gluteus.
It's way more than that. Like, you know, who do you want to be?
Yeah,
Just show me her. Paint me
100%.
that picture.
100%.
And then I remind you who she is.
Did you notice manifestation, ideation? You had to envision the dream you before you could step into that reality. And she reminds that in her coaching. You see the concept here? Guys, you guys know these things.
And that's why I define this mantra in my coaching of ascend her. That's like the goal is to constantly level up and raise yourself up. And we're literally here to achieve the goal of ascension. It's our soul journey.
Uh-huh.
We come, I believe in like a level of reincarnation, but
Yeah,
if
I
your
get it.
soul is here and lazy and doesn't want any type of challenge or adversity, or you just come and be a piece of shit person, well, life's going to be a hell of a lot worse for you the next go around.
100%.
Or you can work on those things and be
Get
a
a
great
better
person
second.
and level up and allow your soul to be lighter and have relief. And that's having that freedom.
Yeah, 100%. And that's so much documentation leads down the pathway of this is a testing ground for the next part of the video game, if you will. The next level of the matrix, the next existence, if you aren't putting in the work and earning the next level of the game, you don't get to go. You come back as a dog or a rat or something crazy, and that's in Hinduism. And even in, Christianity, it's the spiritual life is if you didn't master this life, you didn't get to enjoy heaven. And you go back further into Greek mythology, Roman mythology, the sins of this reality were punished onto your spirit into the next existence, which was indefinite. And, you know, how you live, the gluttonous behaviors goes back predate Romans. So it's important to understand if all this documentation is talking about how much effort you put into this existence, how hard and difficult you make it to improve yourself, and it could affect the next level of existence, why would you risk why would you risk being wrong and just say, hey, maybe I need to live a lot harder, so if there is some type of transition beyond this existence that I'm unaware of, maybe I get to live a better one next time. I don't know, man, but I had a rough fucking go at this existence. Next round, I'm going to be a king. I don't know, maybe a rock star. I'm going to have a really cool existence next time because this one was rough. And a lot of that I put onto myself. And I think that's the way it's supposed to be.
I mean, a part of the integration process of maintaining this new identity you've created for yourself, even on a physical level, is making peace with the past too. And I always like to break things down for my clients. Like, that's old you. These are old behaviors. You don't identify with that anymore. We're changing the narrative. So we need to focus on the new you. So things will come up on your journey. Like, fitness exposes your shit. So things will come up.
Yeah.
You're getting faced with a challenge. It's like, oh, am I going to break this cycle? Am I going to win this one?
100%.
Or am I going to go back and repeat it?
I love it. I love it. Now, let's be vulnerable for a second here. Let's go deep for these people that don't know Alyssa. What are some of the things that you need to get over that surface from time to time in your life that are your personal challenges? If you care to let the world in on some of those deeper things.
I mean, I feel like it just comes down to always just having like trust within myself and what I continue to bring to the table as a person.
Okay.
I'm also addicted to self-development.
Where does that come from though? So where does that doubt in self and what you're capable of come from? Like, is that a childhood trauma thing, or like, did you have a oppressive parent that was just like beating you down, or like, did you just do it to yourself? Like, how did that come to be? If you had to analyze it, I know it's difficult. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I'll list you one and it'll freak you out.
Like just me always wanting to be like a high performer. I think it just comes down to me feeling not in control of my like childhood or life, like everything that was happening around me that I was experiencing because of the decisions of other people were affecting my life as a child, and not feeling seen or safe or heard because my parents were making decisions that were more like selfish and they weren't really like thinking about the kids, right? Sure. So for me, it was like, okay, no one can try to control me or give me shit if I am getting straight A's, performing in sports, checking off all those boxes. So it just became this like addiction of me creating control through the actions that I could put in and yielding high results.
And no one can tell you.
No one can say shit to me.
No one can say shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So for me, my thing is, all right. My thing is that I had so little as a kid, like no hugs, none of that shit. So that like hardened me a lot over time. So like one is I've been betrayed by every single person I've ever loved at a high level, which is pretty normal in life. That's not saying much. That'll happen to probably everybody. The only people that can hurt you really is the people you do care for and love. Like my dad stole 20 G's from me, like shit like that. Like that's the kind of loving family I had.
Conditional.
It's just like they were opportunists, and that's the way they were. And so for me, my challenge is opening up my romantic self to be hurt, because everybody that I cared about, trusted, that was supposed to protect me, end up causing massive pain and suffering in my life.
Abandonment.
It's kind of like a thing like that. I don't know. It's just like a childhood trauma that I deal with. So being aware of that has been a challenge to where I have to open myself up to be betrayed and hurt to develop trust. Like that's what trust is giving someone the power to either save your life or end it in a decision. And that's kind of counter to like my survival mechanism. So I work on that as a person is because there was no one to piece me back together. I mean, I did all those things on my own for the most part and had to figure out survival, and no one came to save me. So now I don't really rely on people at all. I'm just independent, and whatever they contribute in my world is cool, but I give them no power to affect my life in any measurable way.
That's a trauma I had to overcome, is actually relinquishing control, especially being in a marriage, is because I had to take on a masculine role of this complete independence where I didn't want, again, anyone to have like a say in my life and what I was doing. So I didn't want to rely on anyone for anything. And that's how I was able to create control, right? Well, when you get in a marriage, and
you gotta negotiate.
Female, you have to surrender, and that's a part of, again, going back to like a woman feeling safe.
Yeah, you have to feel safe
emotionally. Is like, hey, like you don't need to be in survival mode anymore. Like you can lean on me. Like you got this, because my trauma response was reverting to like shutting down or isolating. It's like, oh, I'm going to deal with this myself.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. And when you're in a relationship, there's some give and take, and that's a good breakthrough as an adult and as a woman and as a person, is to surrender a part of your control and open up yourself to a greater experience. I would say that your experience going forward, since you realize that's probably been way more, way deeper and way more profound, simply because you opened up your life a little bit to something that was foreign. And it's the same thing for mine. When I open up my life, I experience those greater connections. I have stronger friendships and a deeper connection romantically. But I mean, we gotta be very clear. There's only one leader in the fucking house with me, right? You can't, like, I commanded troops on the battlefield. Like, there is no fucking way I'm going to listen to any woman about anything other than, what should we do with the children, honey? That's it. Like, that's your zone. I relinquish control to someone that's superior at something regularly. Like, if I have a lacking skill in something, I don't press the issue as I'm the leader because it's on paper or whatever. I'm dumb. My bicepts are 18 inches and yours are 16.
Your strengths with
yeah,
one
it's
another.
like, you're far better at this. Like, do this. Please help me, because I'm not doing discipline with the children. I don't do that. I've never done that. In my spouse has done the discipline. I support her.
You're like, because the way I know discipline with my troops, it's not going to work here. They're going to hate me.
Yeah, I am very firm and caring and loving, but I don't discipline the children. And people think that's odd. I was like, well, mom does that. Children are her bag. She does that. She does the children, and like, I'll clean the dishes. She cooks or whatever. I'll cook. She cleans the dishes. It's a team effort, but like, I know where my weaknesses are, and I'm not like discipline little Timmy for getting, when my daughter got in a fight at school and someone was bullying her for being, brown skinned, they called her, I don't know. They called her some derogatory term. And I was like, we don't fucking do that. I was like, punch them in their fucking mouth. Like, what? And she did. The next little fucker that did it, she punched him in the fucking mouth. And I had to go to school and like hide that shit from her mom. And they're like,
you're like, this one's on
they
me.
were like gassed. I was like, hey, look, fuck face. I was like, that little fucking shit's been harassing my daughter and calling her names. What are you going to do about that? I was like, I'll tell you what. I was like, I'm fixing to beat her fucking dad's ass in front of you. And just because you didn't do anything. I was like, my poor little daughter's being harassed, and she defended herself, and now she's the problem. I was like, no. I was like, fuck that. I was like, what we're going to do is we're going to Disneyland, and we're going to celebrate this. I was like, and I'll decide when I want to bring her back. You can't do that. So I was like, fuck you, I can't. I was like, we're not doing that. I was like, you're not protecting the child. I was like, I told her how the world really works. I was like, a bully won't stop until you get physical. And like, that sucks, is that they can get away with that, harass you verbally or on the internet. It's crazy. It's like, she couldn't stop the derogatory terms until she punched the motherfucker in the face. And then we had to deal with it. And I hid that shit for her. I don't think her mom knows to this day. Like, now she does. Whoops, sorry, sweetheart. Love you.
It's okay.
But that's the truth. And that's just, it's life. Like, there's no right way. You gotta figure it out and stand your ground. And I relinquish power to disciplinary the children. Like, I don't even think I spank my kids. Like, I don't really do that. I was like, Mom, that's like, you gonna do something with your son?
There's so many different
I was like, our son, can like you do
dynamics.
something here? I was like, he's not listening, and I want to throw him. I want to like shake them a little. I was like, can you like step in? I was like, I don't do that. So we do timeout though. I was a timeout guy. My son was like, he didn't get spanked, and my daughter didn't get spanked, and they're good kids. Yeah, we didn't do physical.
It's
punishment.
just letting them comprehend consequences for their actions. Like, hey, every single action that you make is going to yield the result.
They're really good kids. Really good kids. My son dropped some term at school. He got in big trouble. I laughed. He was like, "Oh, that's it." I was like, "But were they really?" I was like, "Who cares? Sticks and stones." Whatever.
Sticks and stones.
Sticks and stones.
So the son got the sticks, and the daughter got the stones.
No, my kids were really good. My daughter was really well behaved. My son's
No, I meant since she punched someone and he called someone.
She was
something.
actually feisty. My son exercised massive reserve. I think he's more like me. And then my daughter, when she gets angry, was a lot more like her mom. So she was like Chihuahua, like you took away the Chihuahua's bone, you might lose an arm kind of thing. That was like my daughter. So
That's
she gets
hilarious.
like super enraged, and she's a character. Yeah, but both very good kids. Like they had no issues in school, like A's and all that good stuff. They're dope. Like no issues. Like I was a problem in school. Like I was smart, so I would like run the numbers at school, and like I was an athlete, so we would work the office. So like all the little sports cheerleaders and stuff, and all the cute ones would work the hall passes. So they take all the attendances. I would bribe. I'd have them on the payroll, so they would write me in. There was
And
like
you ditched school?
There was whole years I didn't go to school. Years, plural. And that's how I did it.
There you go. You turned out fine.
No,
You made it.
yeah,
You made it.
I have a doctoral level education. I figured out school. I figured out the system that school was built on. Same
Yeah.
with the military. I figured out every system that I'm in. A lot like
System hacking.
when I had a job in the government, I was the systems guy. Like, so when there was complex systems that someone needed to like analyze and dissect and decode, that's the kind of job I had for many years. I worked for a job where we would decode the government has software programs that decode proprietary communications across applications like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Outlook, banking transactions, all of it. We had 400 engineers working for years to crack that kind of shit. So that's the kind of stuff I do. Big systems and complex systems, I find the flaws in it, figure out how to exploit them many years ago. Many years ago. Now I don't do that. I don't.
Clinton is an asset.
I am one of those scary, scary, scary smart people that will figure out a way to execute you and get away with it. That's the kind of person.
That's what makes you a master manifester, because manifestation is literally manipulation of energy.
I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I manifest everything by just hard work. That's how I do it. So in your life, right, how do you link your, how do you say this? Do you think that your strengths as an individual has been linked to your manifestation or massive action?
I mean, it's a combination of both. It's just really understanding that you control everything that happens in your reality.
I like that. So no victim.
No,
No victim.
you can't.
I can't
You
stand
stay
that
stuck.
shit.
Like,
It's
it drives me nuts. Drives me freaking crazy.
I get
And
so
I will
angry.
be quick to call someone out on
get
that.
so angry on in society. It's like victims are out victiming each other. They're trying to like level up the level of pathetic actions and behaviors
feel
to be
sorry
like
for
a
me.
bigger victim. Like, oh my God.
Like, why are you looking for so much external validation? All the validation that you need is going to be validated through the actions that you put in to make that situation better. So really moving out of victim mode is focusing on what you actually can control instead of what you can't control. And that's how you problem solve.
Daily fucking coaching right here. This is a gym. Like that is, I go back to this same system that she just talked about all the time with the people in my life, with myself and my clients. What in here can we control? That's it. I learned that on the battlefield as a leader and attacking targets and all kinds of stuff. Where in here are the variables of unknown that we can or can't control? You literally have decision matrix on risk, reward, and like how action plans.
This
like
is a
what
science.
Are we gonna do? It's not that complicated. The same process that we use to attack targets is the same process we attack problems in life. It's so basic.
Eliminate people, eliminate your problems.
Eliminate your problems, like identify an issue, like what in this issue can I control? Is this a big deal or a little deal. Like sales were down November, December for a lot of the businesses that I work with. What in that was their fault? No, that's market confidence. We have a new president. It's cyclical. It happens every time. The market shifts. It's slow, but confidence comes back up probably Q1, mid Q1, and then it catches on fire once the president stops making changes that the world doesn't understand at the moment.
Or for like fitness for us,
Same.
the cycle is okay. The first 2 weeks of January, like people are like
That's
getting
right.
back into the routine of just like life and like the holidays. They're just starting to like think about things again. And then the end of January, everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm
I'm gonna
ready
run
to
out
get on my
time.
fitness.
Yeah, this year's the year I'm gonna
Let's
get ripped and
go.
stand on stage
You
and
know?
hire Alyssa. That we're gonna do it this year. I was like, motherfucker, you didn't do it the last 40 years. Shut up. Shut up. Like that's it. So that is a thing. And that's weird with when it comes back to fitness, nutrition, and the life cycle of New Year's resolution. I put up a post and this shit was fun. And I like to talk a little bit of shit online because I don't think like a lot of the people. I'm an outlier in the way I think and move in the world. And I talk shit is because people do dumb stuff. They're like, oh, I need a day on the calendar to be resolute, like to make change and develop resolve. That is so pathetic. 1 out of 365 days, you decide to make some kind of change that
Not
you
a
think to
magical
stick.
day. Like
It's not. Like, why don't we make every day a resolution day?
my
Like
favorite
today.
people are the people that reach out to me in like November
Uh-huh.
or
I'm
beginning
gonna
of
sign up in January.
No. My favorite people are the ones like, I'm ready to go right now. Why would I wait?
Oh, that's the kind of
Like-
people that get shit done.
Christmas is just like 2 days, and then there's just like the one day of New Year, or I'm just traveling the 1 week. Like, why would I waste 5-6 weeks of this year of doing the same old shit for
It's-
just like a couple days that I'm gonna go enjoy? And that's just like that mindset.
100%. Procrastination is
ready.
never going to get you anywhere
No.
quick. And I decided to stop drinking alcohol in November. The two peak month of the year to party and be a degenerate in every excuse possible. Drinking with the family and Thanksgiving and eggnog with spiked eggnog and all this good stuff. Like I love to drink, and I gave that shit up in November. And I specifically gave it up during November is because that was the least opportune time to start. Now is always the
Forced
least
adversity.
opportune time to make
Yeah.
any change. The body and the mind and the spirit resist like a motherfucker. And now is always the absolute best time to take that scary step. And I always go back to the analogy where you approach your dream girl. Now, she's not approaching shit, right? She's an attractive woman. Carter, I already know, came and asked her out. She did not go ask him out like most.
He courted me, yeah.
I would bet significant parts of my physical anatomy. Okay. So when the girl of your dreams walks by, you have one choice: sit still and do nothing, or walk up to her and take a chance that she could possibly say yes. That's action at its best. It is a statistical likelihood that you will succeed over time if you just ask one person a day. In 100 days, I promise you, you will meet that attractive woman that you would be interested to sit down and have dinner with. And that's life. And that's every problem that we've ever faced. If you just take that uncomfortable first step into the path of the unknown where you could potentially fail, you also could potentially succeed. And it's that simple.
Think now, choose now, act now. It's all in right now.
She knows these ditties. Like, what is this? Like, are we related? Like, I already know that he's the bigger, swoller, younger brother that I don't have. And I already know that you're like the cool sister I don't know. Like it's it. It's like you guys.
This San Diego.
It's a
piece.
weird San Diego. We have this weird San
West
Diego
Coast
family
vibe.
thing happening. Like we wear chucks. We're weird. We have tattoos. Like we're into fitness. We talk shit. We laugh a lot. Nothing's really impossible for us. Is that just us? Like we are definitely aliens from somewhere. Like we are the Anunnaki or something.
We're here to take over.
Yeah, I'm an angel.
I'm going to inoculate you with badassery.
A badassery. Oh my God, Alyssa. What is this? Badassery. You are a badass person. And I've had a great conversation here learning about what you do and how you help people. I'm sure we'll have more of these. And I'm really honored to see your trajectory in this world and observe where your life's going to go. I know that this is the beginning of a long-term maybe a lifelong relationship with you and your husband and observing the cool things that you're going to do. And I'm excited to see what 2025 and maybe 2035 has in store for the two of you, because you are such great individuals that have accomplished so much. But I have this odd feeling you're just getting warmed up. I really, I have this odd feeling that this is really just the tip of the iceberg and some like really big, cool shit's coming. And we can't even imagine what that is. And I can't wait for this audience and, just me to observe what's going to happen next. And thank you so much for letting me be a part of this journey.
Thank you, Clinton.
Yeah, close them out real quick.
Yeah, no, let's make it nuclear.
Nuclear fusion. If you don't know what that is, next episode we'll talk about that. Buy stocks today. No,
I want everyone to win.
I do too, and I'm not a. It's odd as people talk about that, and I holistically, to the fiber of me, want to see every single person around me, even my enemies. I want to see them happy, healthy, winning, and living an amazing life. I really do. And I think it's achievable for everybody. They just don't really have that one thing, which is belief in self, that it's even possible. And I would just remind people, if a kid from the trailer park with alcoholic, drug addict parents, dirt broke, we had no electricity on in the house often, if that kid could achieve everything that I've achieved in my life and have such a great outlook on the world, then why can't you? And the answer is you could do everything I achieved in half the time if you had the right mentor and the right group of people pushing you to achieve more. And that is fact. And I believe that in my soul. So take a risk on yourself, people. And this year is the year you actually decide to make some great changes in your life that will result in some level of achievement that you can't even comprehend. And I know it's possible.
Rewrite your story. You're in control of the narrative.
If you don't like it, get a new pad and a new pen and write a new chapter. It's that easy to change anything in your life. And it doesn't even take a long time. I have multiple friends that make multiple 7 figures, and they started at 0. They started at below 0, felons, and they're now multimillionaires. And they offer massive products, and they help a lot of people. And if those two individuals could change their life that much and start helping that many people, then I'm sure an aspect of that level of success is in your future if you just put in the same level of work they did. That's it. And thank you for joining me. Alyssa, thank you for your time. And I hope that dinner is quick around the corner because I'm starving. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace. Until next time, we'll see you then. Out.